Hey, it's Jared. Let's talk about how I was able to release over 173 videos so far in 2023 across my various YouTube channels, which is this channel, my tech channel, and my photography channel. And then my boys and I even released a whole bunch of Pokemon card related videos on another channel because we went down a little rabbit hole for a few months there. But Video Husky has really helped me with editing all of my video content. In the past, I have had employees and I've had my own team of video editor, those that would help me shoot projects and stuff like that. I was always trying to find some unicorn of a person who was a video editor and knew how to run a camera and can probably do graphic design. And that was always challenging because I have always had too many things going on. And when you hire somebody, you really need to be able to effectively lead them and guide them through the process of what it is that you want to have your end outcome. And I've always been pretty bad at that because I've tried to keep too many things going for myself and not being able to allocate enough time for those people. Last year, I was really frustrated because at the end of the year, I did not put out as many videos as I wanted to. I had a lot of videos die on the editing floor because I just simply didn't have time to get them edited. And I realized at the beginning of this year that something needed to change if I wanted to keep these YouTube channels going. Now, I love producing YouTube content. It's not my full-time job. It doesn't pay me that well, but I enjoy producing YouTube content because it's a great platform and I love communicating with everybody out there. And so I knew that if I was going to keep this up, I would need to have different systems in place. And that's when I identified Video Husky. I booked a consultation with them and started to learn and understand whether or not that was going to be a good fit for me. I really wanted to be producing multiple videos per week on these different channels, and that meant having a relationship with a company or with someone who was going to be able to pull that off. And knowing that I was lacking in areas of leadership and being able to just guide a person in the right direction, I wanted to rely on a company that was going to be able to do that on their own. They were producing a service, which is a video editing service, and that means that they need to have the systems and leadership in place for their employees to make sure that they're effective and they're delivering on their promises. So Video Husky, I felt pretty confident with from the beginning, and I was really reassured through that consultation. I actually have a link down in the description below. If you're interested in having a consultation with them, click that link down below because that'll let them know that I sent you. But I'm going to give you my thoughts on how to get the most out of your relationship with a video editor, whether it's Video Husky, a video editor that you hire locally or online, or another company besides Video Husky. Having clear expectations is the number one thing that you need to get dialed in before you hand over your footage to anybody and have anybody else edit that footage. Whether it's Video Husky or a video editor that you hire locally, that person needs to understand exactly what it is that you're looking to get out of your videos, and you need to be able to provide them the information that they need to have in order to be successful. So initially, I was submitting videos to Video Husky and going back and forth on edits, which was taking multiple days and more time than I really wanted it to take. I know that based on the plan that I was on with Video Husky, that they were going to work on unlimited projects for me, but they were only going to work on one at a time. And if I was going to submit that project, have them edit it, and then on the next day, I was going to review that and provide feedback, and then maybe another round of revisions, and maybe it would take 3 or 4 or 5 days. That was costing more money than I wanted to spend per video. My desire was to get the cost of each video below $50. Now, I'm on a $749 a month plan with Video Husky, and that meant that I wasn't going to be able to spend multiple days going back and forth with Video Husky. Now, I recognize that the problem that I had last year with video editing was simply getting started. Personally, I work better if I can get started on a project and see it through in one sitting and be as close to done as possible. If I have to jump back into projects, it's likely that I'm just not going to do it, or it's going to take me quite a bit of time, because jumping back into a project and figuring out where I was and revisiting some of the earlier choices that I made is painful. It leads to procrastination. And so I knew that what I really needed Video Husky to do was do that first run through of edits. I wanted the uhs and ums and the mistakes that I make sometimes when I'm filming a video edited out. I wanted it occasionally to punch in and pull out just for engagement. and really to tighten everything up so that the video was more cohesive and I wasn't wasting anybody's time. I wanted for the short amount of time that somebody's watching my video to get as much out of it as possible without wasting any time. And that means a lot of edit points, and that takes a lot of time for me to do. So if Video Husky can do that for me and get me that video, and then I can add a little bit of flair using like motion VFX plugins to throw some lower thirds in place from time to time, maybe throw a couple of photos, some B-roll and stuff like that in that might take me like 15 minutes total. That's the winning recipe for me. Not going back and forth with Video Husky over multiple days, but getting that rough edit that only took them one day so that they can move on to the next video. And then I just spend like the 10 or 15 minutes adding a little bit of flair to the video just to make sure it's not just me that you're looking at the entire time. So that means Video Husky is taking that camera and the top camera and editing that all together. From what I understand, they use multicam and they switch back and forth and they edit out all of the nonsense that I want removed. And then I get a Premiere Pro project that I could download and relink up to my 4K files. Now, the plan that I'm on with them allows for 1080p editing. And so I send them proxy files. And then I get back a Premiere Pro project and I just relink the 4K to the proxy files, and then it becomes a 4K project. And all I have to do is finish up the editing with maybe some Motion VFX plugins. I've got a link to Motion VFX down below as well if you want to check them out. And then export the video, upload it to YouTube, make a thumbnail, and boom, we have a video live. And that's exactly what I was looking for. I know that my videos are not the most dynamic as far as production value. I don't have tons of different B-roll clips of me using a phone or using a camera out in the wild. I just don't have the time, and I know that that's going to be a stumbling block for me to produce content in the first place. Most of the people that watch my videos are looking for information, and information doesn't necessarily need to have as much flair to it. I'm looking for in-depth conversations and really useful information that I could put out there onto YouTube, not trying to be entertaining or anything like that. Being able to get my entire project completed in one day was a huge win for me because I was wasting so much time not getting started, having to jump in and out of projects, losing interest in those projects, or being too busy with something else, and then time goes by and those projects either end up getting released late or not getting released at all. So with an expectation set that I just wanted Video Husky to do that initial run, which they can do in one day, and produce me that Premiere Pro project, I was off to the races, producing lots of content, getting it out there in a timely manner, sometimes faster than others because their video editing process might take multiple days, where now mine doesn't take hardly any time at all. This was winning to me. So communicating with them is extremely easy. They use Rike, which I typically use from a web browser, but here it is on my iPad. And there are some videos that I have in queue and in review. A video that's in review is one that they've already edited, and my process being so simple with them, a video that's in review is a video that I'm already finished editing on my end and I'm probably going to publish within the next couple of days. So submitting new videos to them is pretty simple as well. You just click on the plus and click request and then choose the package that you're in, which I'm in the Eskimo package, and then run through their short form on questions that they have about the editing process. And because it's so simple and repetitive, I've gotten to the point where I could submit a video to them in like 5 minutes or less, and then it's ready for them to start editing. And then I can follow the process in here as well. What they provide to me is a download link to the Premiere Pro project, which I then download. I open up that project, I relink my proxy files to the original files, do any finish editing, export, and then upload to YouTube. So it's a very easy process to work with them in Rike. That's the communication platform. I haven't had any meetings with them since my initial consultation. I simply haven't needed to because my process with them is so clear and simple. I want them to edit the videos and I want them to provide me a Premiere Pro project. Now we're to the point where I'm able to get the Premiere Pro project with my full video and sometimes as many as 5 reels that I can use for Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube Shorts. And depending on the video, sometimes I have maybe 1 reel, sometimes I have up to 5 reels, and that all fits within my package. And they deliver all of that within one day's worth of work. And that's something that would have taken me a long time. So my finish editing process for Reels is simply just to open that sequence up, have Premiere Pro transcribe it, customize the text a little bit on the screen, export that, and then upload it to the platform that I want it to go to. And that is a ton of content that I'm producing that I just would not be able to pull off on my own. So I wanted my per video cost to be below $50. And right now, if I take like $7,500, which is 10 months worth of $749, and divide that by 173 videos, I'm at about $43 per video. And that doesn't even count the amount of Instagram Reels that I have published. I probably put out about 80 to 100 Reels this year as well. And I know people that are paying about that much for a very basic Reel video. So for me, the value is there in paying Video Husky for their Eskimo package, which is $750 a month, being able to submit videos to them, doing a little bit of finish editing myself, and then publishing them. The next step for me is actually to automate that process as well. I found that I end up sitting on some videos that Video Husky's already edited. I have 4 videos right now that they've edited that I need to finish editing. And so I know the next step for me is to find somebody to finish editing the videos, upload them to YouTube, create thumbnails, and publish those videos for me. If I could outsource that process as well, then I would have a fully functioning machine that would be taking care of all of these things for me, and I could focus just on creating the content, knowing that the editing process is taken care of, knowing that the publishing process is taken care of as well. So finding success with a company like Video Husky or even hiring an employee is really going to come down to you setting clear expectations of what you want out of that relationship. With Video Husky, I know that I want my video cost to be below $50. I want to be producing some Reels as well, and I need my turnaround time to be fast. So I don't go back and forth with them on the editing process. In a few rare instances, I've had to do a little bit of additional editing myself to the videos, such as removing a few spots that they probably thought I wanted left in the video, but I actually wanted removed. And so that means that I can't just simply take the Premiere project that they've produced for me and upload the entire thing to YouTube without going through it. That's something else that takes a little bit of time for me. And so the next thing that I would outsource would be somebody that can also just kind of quality control everything as well for me. So that way I'm getting a volume out of Video Husky and then bringing that over to somebody who can finalize those for me. And that finalization process would look like opening up the Premiere Pro project, relinking the 4K files, using the appropriate motion VFX elements for that particular project, quality control checking it as well, and exporting that video. Then taking that video and uploading it to the appropriate YouTube channel, creating a thumbnail, writing a description, adding in timestamps, and publishing that video. Then they move on to the Reels, where we would add text overlays to the Reels and maybe any graphics or elements that needed to be in the Reels to support that video, and then getting those uploaded to the appropriate channel as well. That process is going to take somebody who has a little bit more of an understanding of what I want my channel to look like and what I want those videos to look like. It might be somebody that I need to hire locally, or it might be something that I could get a virtual assistant that has video editing experience to do for me. I'm going to have to look at that process. And if you have any tips or thoughts on that, definitely share those down in the comment section with me, because these are newer waters for me, working with people online versus working with people locally. So I think that I've got my process pretty dialed in. By the end of this year, I'll probably have around 200 videos that I've produced, and all of that comes thanks to being able to work quickly with Video Husky. So if you're like me and you need somebody to take this off of your plate, use the link down in the description below to book a call with Video Husky and see if they're going to be a good fit for you. It's not going to cost you anything to do that, and I know you'll get a lot of value out of the 30 minutes or so that you spend talking with them. So check out that link below. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when I put out more videos. I hope to see you back in the next one. Take care.